If there's one thing I know YouTube loves, it's Storm. Welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to another Wednesday night stream. If you had seen some of my recent videos, you might have noticed me battling up against a fellow streamer, Musasabi, who was playing a very cool-looking Beseech Tinker deck. And Musasabi did very well in back-to-back events, if I remember correctly, winning the Sunday challenge and also placing top 4 here a few days earlier. So I was like, well, I mean, we got to try that out. It's been a long time since we've played any Beseech the Mirror Storm decks on the channel, and it's a fan favorite. A lot of the boomers love a good Tendrils of Agony. I actually released a short where I was making fun of Tendrils of Agony and explaining why you don't see very many Tendrils of Agony decks see play in Vintage these days. But the deck is basically the perfect home for Tendrils of Agony. And the main reason is because it's going to power up your Beseech the Mirrors, because your primary kill in this deck is not actually going to be Tinker Citadel like it is most of the time. It's actually going to be Beseeching the Mirror into a Yogg-Will Tendrils kill. So yeah, we're playing Dark Rituals like good old times, and we're playing I believe this would be considered a TPS deck, the Perfect Storm. From what I understand of old Magic lingo and terrible deck names, the Perfect Storm was a Tendrils Storm deck that had enough blue cards to play Force of Will. And that is what we're going to get here by utilizing the very broken and very powerful Stock Up from Aether Drift, as well as Lorien Revealed, and Sink into Stupor, a bunch of blue pseudo lands and blue somewhat of, cantrips, one might say, to up the blue count to a point where we actually have a pretty reliable Force of Will. This is looking like a 20-21 blue count Force of Will. It's not as high in a deck, in this deck, because this deck is not trying to go as long as, maybe Lurrus PO is more of a combo control deck. This is more of a true combo deck. Anything else sticking out to me in this deck list? 2 Flusterstorms pushing through our combo. 2 Opals is pretty interesting. I don't know if this deck always was playing Opals, but it makes sense because you have to sometimes bargain this Beseech. I think the real test for this kind of deck is it worth it to dedicate 4, 7, 8 slots to your Storm kill, 4 Dark Ritual, 3 Beseech, and a Tendrils, when you could just be playing more blue cards, PO? Like, if you just cut these Dark Rituals, Beseeches, and Tendrils, you could play Merchant Scroll, 4 POs, some more blue cards. Maybe you have Flusterstorm, maybe you don't. And you can just play a very straight-up Tinker PO deck. And so you really do need to evaluate if this Beseech and this Dark Ritual stuff is worth maybe having a more... what's the right word? Controlling and consistent deck. For now, this isn't exactly how I would build this list, but I'm going to take Musasabi's Direct 75. We're going to play it as is, see what we can learn from it. If I have any recommendations for people at the end of the stream, we'll do that then. So yeah, I'll see you in round 1 of this Beseech Storm League. The legendary NYSE Open returns to Long Island in New York. This 9th installment will be a 15 proxy, $500 entry fee tournament where the top 8 will return home with 8 pieces of real unlimited power. Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxens will be part of this celebration of Vintage. At 100 players, there'll be an additional wacky draft with classic booster packs from Ice Age to Onslaught, the NYC Trophy, Karn Altars, $1,000 in giveaways, dealers, and much, much more. Check out the link below for all the details. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. All right, here we go. Round 1 of this Vintage League up against Nico. My hand has got mana and force, so I'm in. I don't know if this is it's not a turn 1 demonic Beseech kill, right? Because I would need to play Lotus, play Academy, play Soul Ring, crack. No, because I don't have enough black mana at the moment. Yeah, there are no such things as mana dredge in Vintage, but it's possible maybe other formats. I don't see a kill. Because you do need to, like, demonic into Beseech, right? Or maybe you can just go Yagwell. Is that possible? I don't think so, because all you're doing is buying Lotus. Ooh. That's going to have to be forced. Light-bordered Urza Saga. Drawing a force is particularly bad here. I think I'm going to have to go for Ancestral, right? Or stock up or something. Like, just crack this Lotus for black. Play a Soul Ring. Play a Demonic. Go for, like, a stock up or something. I could go for a Tinker, right? Although, going for a Tinker is pretty all in. My opponent did go Bobble Pass. Looks like they're F6, though, so... Looks like it's Tinker time. Probably just supposed to do it no matter what, anyways. And I bricked. Let's see what happens. Workshop, Lotus, Jewel, kill me. There are not many lands in my deck for what it's worth. This is a pretty decent looking Tinker deck, Citadel deck. We have 11 lands. I guess Sink into Stupor would have been a brick there for what it's worth. So let's say 12. Ancient Tomb, Soul Ring, Karn. Yeah. I see what you're up again. What do you got? What is this? Stone Coil Serpent for 1. That is not encouraging. Okay. You got it, opponent. Another land. Dark Ritual. Another land. I mean, I'm gonna kill them, but Moxopful. Lorien revealed. Another land. Another land. It's not a big deal. We're gonna be fine. This Vamp, Yogg. Ritual, Soul Ring, Lotus, Demonic Tutor, Tendrils. Oh, I mean, the Vampiric was just always going to win, from what I could tell. As long as I had the black mana to cast Vampiric, I think I would always win that from that spot. All right, so we're playing against Aggro Shops, it looks like. That has seen a bit of a resurgence lately. Or I guess it could be Golos Shops, Prison Shops. Either way, Sphere Shops. It actually was one of the best performing decks last weekend. It had something like a 60% win rate against the field. And looked like one of the better choices you could have played. That being said, I have 2 Hercules recalls, so good sideboarding by Musasabi here. I have some consigns. And I think these Flusterstorms can go, this Misstep can go, and this Probe can go. Looks pretty good. I don't think we need removal. Probably just gonna run like this. No big robot to tinker out here. No Sphinx, no Blightsteel. Zajad, I would say if you were drinking out of a tap, I would say you would be winning. But I think out of a bottle, they're pretty similar. Or a can for that matter. Yeah, this looks like a nice one. Obviously, if this hand gets sphered, it's not that great for us, but I don't think I'm allowed to put this away. Yeah, I think I guess I would say I think I like canned Sapporo better than canned Asahi. And then out of a bottle, I think I like the Asahi better. And then out of a tap, I think I like the Sapporo better. Either way, Sphere's really good here. It's a nice fast mana start. Can't use that Thoughtseize. I'm actually in some trouble. I need to draw some more mana. But obviously, like, drawing a Mox is pretty good. A non-Opal Moxen. Can cast it for 1, then use Academy, cast one of these, and then cast one of these. I've been doing more, these are Rice Loggers, right? Is that true or false? I don't know. I've been doing these more than High Lifes recently, just as like my after work beer. Sipping in casual. No Surveil land in this deck, which I think is reasonable. So we just hold our fetch land. This is going to be a strip mine, I would assume. But it could be a Saga. Try to clock us out here. They went for a Tolarian Academy. Interesting. That is not a good draw. That is not a good draw at all. I don't know. I think my hand has enough stuff to play that it will still want to play out this hand. Like, it's not like I'm dead to a null rod with my hand. It's really hard to put this hand back is what I'm going to try to say. I guess my opponent's looking to Caracas their Golos and go again. They gain an Inventor's Fair for a Crucible of Worlds, Golos for a Strip Mine, and then Strip Mine Wasteland lock us. Second Sphere does look really bad, though. Now we are in trouble. I don't really like bringing in Needle for Wasteland. I think it's just not very good. They also like play a Ghost Quarter and a Strip Mine. I just think Needle for Wasteland is not a winning strategy in general, is how I feel. 1, 2, 3. So they can actually tutor Fair here if they want. Maybe they can pick up a Null Rod. Not that I have any artifacts in play. They picked up a Crucible of Worlds. That makes sense. They're gonna loop this Inventor's Fair. I still think we have winning chances in this game, which is why I'm not conceding. They are not locking us out fast enough at the moment. Crucible, replay Inventor's Fair. Like, if we draw another land this turn, I actually think we have pretty good winning chances. Energy Flux is not approaching the matchup in the correct way. Energy Flux is when you want to like play a slower controlling game. For this kind of matchup, you have Hurkyl's Recall, where you just bounce everything back and then kill them in one turn. Yeah, unfortunately, we are not drawing the cards we needed from this game. So I think we're going to die. They should just crack the ball. We'll draw a card. They did. I mean, even if they tutor Null Rod, simply drawing a land and... I mean, Hurkyl's Recall is pretty far off at this point, but like playing these every turn, building up an academy, Hurkyl's Recalling, like this game is still not over. I would say we're in a bad spot. Probably not a spot where we're going to win, but like we just needed a little bit better draws. If we draw this island the turn earlier, we win. So I think a little unlucky, but our hand was on the risky side of things. So they just like, maybe they're not playing Null Rods because they went for second Sphere off of their Inventor's Fair. All right, I'm going to concede. I think we're out of spots now. They have a little bit too much mana as well. Just looking to turn one them. But if you wanted to mulligan that hand on the basis that we didn't actually have a great plan through Sphere, I think that's totally reasonable. I'm gonna keep this hand on the back. We have a lot of mana. We have Force of Will. We can take apart their best card, and we can look to do some kind of beseeching in later turns. This is not a great hand either, but I think this is a totally reasonable keep on the play. You don't really want to be mulliganing too much on the play. My opponent's hand is Ghost Quarter, Workshop, Null Rod, Karn. Thoughtseize is looking pretty good. Though this Ghost Quarter is hitting my one of island, and my island is in my hand, which is quite unfortunate. They can't really go for Ghost Quarter on this, though, because they've seen the island in literal last game, so. Workshop, go. Exactly. Stock up. That'll be great if we can get to it. Feel pretty good about this spot. Black Lotus is a solid draw for my opponent. It lets them cast this Karn. I'll have to force it. That's okay. They were really far away from casting Karn because you can't cast it off of Workshop, but now they're not. Academy. No, you gotta make the mana first. There you go. There you go. Karn. Force. Untap. Time Walk. I believe we'll Time Walk first. Dark Ritual. We have nothing to beseech, nothing to bargain at the moment. So we could. I think we just cast Beseech. Cast Stock Up. I don't think there's any reason not to. This is where you're really missing out on like Saga, where you could Beseech. But I think we're just gonna Stock Up. I don't know. Is it that high? Like if you cast a Dark Ritual first here, and then you're keeping two black mana? Are you keeping a black mana and a blue mana? I think I just want to cast Stock Up. Black Lotus. So I technically could Beseech. So if I take Black Lotus and Opal, I can Black Lotus for black and Dark Ritual, and then Beseech off of my Opal and do Yogg-Will. Can't do Tinker, won't have enough artifacts. In which case, I will be able to then bring back Opal, bring back Lotus, bring back Ritual, Beseech again. This time. I mean, it would have to be Tendrils. Is it enough to Tendrils? So Lotus, 2, 3, 4, 5, Yogg-Will 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's enough. All right, let's do it. I hope they don't have the Mindbreak Trap as the one other card they drew, but Beseech with Bargain on Opal. Yogg-Will, Yogg-Will, Opal, Lotus, Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, and Beseech with Bargain. Tendrils. Cast Tendrils, target my opponent. Same targets. Not bad. Not bad at all. Very powerful. Honestly, the Yogg-Will Tendril line is very, very easy typically with Beseech. Beseech makes things very easy. And you can do things like Beseech for Beseech. We didn't have enough artifacts in that turn to do it, but like you can build your storm count by having multiple artifacts, sacking one, getting another Beseech, sacking one, getting another Beseech, sack one, get another Beseech, replay all those artifacts with your Yogg-Will. So, all right, here we go, round 2 on the play. Up against possible Doomsday, but it looks like they're going to reveal Lurrus. I've got a Tinker, I've got Saga Gaming, I've got Lorien revealed. Yeah, I mean, this looks fine. This deck doesn't have a bobble, does it? No bobble. That probably makes sense, but it does feel bad whenever I can't like Saga into it. I think what I'm gonna do is make them force this Time Vault. Because I'm not actually particularly worked up about having the Time Vault win the game here. Oh. Maybe they have Wasteland. I guess that's a downside of this, but... I guess they could have like turn 1 Oof or something. Oh, Undercity Sewers. They trying to find a Wasteland? I mean, they have to find a Wasteland. Like, exactly a Wasteland, or if they're Deathrite Shaman, then they need to find a Collector Roof. And even if they don't, I do technically have the ability to tinker into a key. But what I'm going to do here is use my Lorien Revealed. The question is, would I rather have a Construct or would I rather have a Stock Up? It's kind of an interesting idea because their #1 way to interact with my Vault Key here is a Wasteland. And I can't force a Wasteland. But I also don't feel like I need Constructs in a longer game and can go for a Tinker plan to tinker for Vault Key. So having Force or something would be pretty beneficial in that sense. I think I like casting Stock Up. I also want to force a Collector Roof, I guess, is a pretty big reason. If my opponent is on... okay, sure. If my opponent is on, like, Lurrus Deathrite Shaman and not on Lurrus Control of the Esper or Blue-Black variety, then Collector Roof is another way that things go badly for me. But now they have to find a Wasteland or a Mox Oof. They should probably let me go to my trigger here because there's always a possibility that I draw the key and then maybe they could counter the key on the stack. So if you're playing against Vault Key where your opponent establishes Saga plus Time Vault, always let them go to their draw step, just in case. It's probably likely that they don't actually have any counter magic for the key anyways, and then in that which case you could then concede. But usually better just let it happen. So we don't know what kind of Lurrus deck our opponent is playing. And I don't know if we're supposed to bring in push against non-oof Lurrus decks. Also, do we have any ways to bounce out of Resolve Null Rod? This is not a deck list that I would recommend playing Consigned Memory in. I would be playing Steel Sabotages here. We're looking at 1 Sink into Stupor to bounce Null Rod. I really dislike that. I guess you're right. If we are bringing in Fatal Pushes, we could theoretically Karn push, but like a lot of times you're not gonna be able to resolve a Karn if you get Null Rotted. But maybe with Dark Ritual you are. I just think Hurkyl's Recall is like a lot. I don't want to bring in Hurkyl's Recall against Lurrus, right, chat? Where like Steel Sabotage has like at least a little more play, but I guess maybe you could say Hurkyl's Recall can bounce Construct, so it also has some minor play in that sense. I'm gonna bring in this Fatal Push, some number of Fatal Pushes, and I'm gonna bring in Flusterstorm. And I think that's likely it. I guess you could theoretically bring in Hull Breachers. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm going to take out the Slow Tutors in Mystical and Vampiric, though we don't actually have a lot of other stuff. Can't really take out lands. Could theoretically take out Probe, but it's like one of the better matchups for Probe. There's like no way we're ever going to make it to Hull Breachers to board in here. I guess we could theoretically trim and Opal. Let's do that. Let's go like this, maybe. Do I want Thoughtseize against the control deck? Yeah, I do. I definitely do. When do I need to register for the land run to get free thingies? Before June 1st. I gotta start looking at flights for that. This is a good hand. Yeah, just simply draw your Sapphire, no problem. How often did that happen? All right, they chose to look at my top card. Is that true? Interesting when you have a fetch land. Maybe they always wanted to keep their card. In the spirit of getting dazed, I'm gonna go basic island, sapphire, and time vaults. If they want to daze my time vault, I'm okay with that. They want to spell pierce my time vault, I'm okay with that. They want to consign or sabotage or anything my time vault, I'm okay with that. I think that's the least useful piece of cards I have besides this uncastable Beseech. Spell pierce, that's great. Resolves. I want to cast Tinker or stock up, so. Blue card is probably one of my best draws, but maybe Mana Grip is up there. Mox. So one of the problems here is that I don't have a blue card follow-up if my stock up gets countered and I want to Tinker on the next turn. And I do think I want to stock up right now, and I am going to play this Tolarian Academy because of Spell Pierce number 2. So I will get Flusterstormed if they Flusterstorm me. Got Forced. That's acceptable as well. So now I'm just kind of hoping that we get to our next turn and I can Tinker with Force back up. This is at least a slight concern with the Beseech the Mirror as well, as it could be dead a lot. Did they just mill a Wasteland? They milled a Wasteland. They have another Wasteland. All right. Okay. So we're just looking for a blue card. We have like 17 more of those. We found blue card. All right. Tinker. Yeah. I feel like I navigated this game extremely well. Got them to counter 2 things I didn't care that much about and resolved a Citadel. I'm pretty happy about this game. Let's just grab forces. In case we brick here. Fatal Push is a dead card, yeah. Crypt. Force. All right. Yeah, I got the message from Adam about that. Maybe I'll. Was there a slide that I could use Assassin? I can put it up for this stream. I mean, unfortunately, this is the last stream before your tournament, so it doesn't really help. But yeah, Long Island Vintage this weekend. I'm definitely okay with it playing this turn a little bit slower. We're going to have a bunch of counter magic. We can go into the next turn. Obviously, we could lose some life here, but we should be in a pretty good spot. All right, here we go. I have a Soul Ring. Another land. Beseech. So I have another Beseech in my hand. What is the way that I guarantee that this works? I mean, I have double force Flusterstorm, which I guess is always enough. So I can just like Beseech into Yogwill. It's probably just going to be enough. Karn Lattice. Why? I think I just leave the other Beseech because the Yogwill as it stands is just enough. Why not? Because I kind of want them to die. GG's, okay. I was looking for a way to maybe get like a Thoughtseize before then. Maybe like that Beseech is supposed to just get a Thoughtseize. Could even do it without Bargain if I wanted to, but there's kind of no reason not to. I mean, with double Force Fluster, I feel like you just go for the tendrils. It's fine. Like maybe like at some point here, I still go for. I mean, I have Tinker, Time Vault Key, and a tendrils kill in the same turn, right? I guess technically right now I don't have enough black mana, but I'd have an additional double stock up. So I mean, it's just gonna win no matter what. I just don't know what the best way to win is. All right, here we go. Round 3. I've got a nice Mox Jet to make me get a blue mana, and then I have some powerful cards. So let's give it a shot. No Lurrus reveal. See what opponent has for us. Ancient Tomb, Patchwork Automaton. Now this is an interesting spot, I think, because we are not particularly fast right now, but we could theoretically win on turn 2. All right, never mind. It's not an interesting spot. It just resolves. we don't know if our opponent is playing restrictive cards or is playing patchworks or like a crawler stuff. Like if my opponent played Vexing Bauble there, I would need to force it, right? If my opponent plays like another threat here, then we probably have to force it just on the back of like it's too much power. But like as it stands, like this patchwork shouldn't prevent us from winning. So I'm going to Lorien revealed for a basic island in case they're playing Wasteland. I think we should be fine. It's not like people are playing Phyrexian Revoker anymore. For a long time in Vintage, you had to worry about your Mox getting revoked. But now that Bowmaster is a mainstay in the format, you don't see very many Shops decks playing Revoker, so you don't have to worry about your Moxen getting turned off by anything but like Null Rod, which is very different. We have Double Force here to prevent bad things from happening to us. That feels like a bad thing to me. Two cards left in my opponent's hand. Sensei's Top is fine. So the biggest problem here is that I think we're a little short on doing Storm things. So it's likely we're going to do Tinker things, and taking a big Patchwork hit is going to make our Citadel worse. That being said, it should still be good enough. Let me take a quick check here. Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor is 1 mana short of Tinkering. If I don't have to force, I can Time Walk and give an extra shot at mana. My opponent's just trying to get as much damage in as possible. 1 card left in their hand. Second Sensei's Top. That's actually kind of interesting, right? Because my opponent can top another 4 times and deal an extra 4 damage. If you're tapping 3 blue total mana to make your Ancestral uncounterable Alzheimer's, I don't think that's a huge deal. So the problem here is not that I'm going to die. It's just that if I take an additional 4 damage, I'm going to 9, and I have to Tinker Citadel win on 9 health. And I can do that, but should I? The alternative here, though, is if I draw and I don't hit a mana source, right? I can't Demonic Tutor for Tinker anyways. And so then I'm taking an additional 7 damage. So is it better to take 4 additional damage and have an ability to Time Walk? Or is it better to counter this and take 6 as it is and hope to draw additional mana? Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor down to 1 blue. I cannot Tinker. This is a hard spot. I don't know the answer to this question. I'm not going to counter this. Our deck is pretty decent at winning with a low life Citadel. I mean, I chose not to force this Patchwork Automaton, and look how big it is. It's hit me for 10 on turn 2. All right, let's see how this goes. Should be interesting. Lorien revealed. So this actually makes my Time Walk a lot better, right? So this works out pretty well. So now I can lure and reveal for a time walk and go on the next turn here. Worked out really well. I think it looks like we made a nice call here. Vault. Now can we probably still not. I feel like we want to tinker off this vault though. I mean, we don't have the dark ritual anymore, right? If we play this vault here and then we demonic tutor and then we tinker, we can hold the dark ritual, but that's not actually good. Probably just supposed to use the dark ritual. Is there Yogwill lines here? 3 Yogwill, 4 dark ritual. Oh. Hold on. Yeah, Yogwill is 4, dark ritual is 5, demonic is 6. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's just go with tinker and hope we don't brick here. That's not a good start, but it's not the worst. Thought seize. All right, I'll take a million. Stock up is good. 3. Time Vault, stock up, Beseech. Beseech I can cast, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should just win then. Beseech should just win. Does it win? See, I can Beseech, and then Tendrils. So Beseech for 8, Beseech for 9, Beseech for 10, Tendrils. Okay, let's just do that. I guess I could just brainstorm first anyways, right? Yeah, there's no reason not to. Oh, they're at, yeah, okay. They are also at a lower life total than whatever. It all worked out in the end. I did save a black. I saved 2 black. I didn't have a Beseech at that point, right? I don't know. It's possible I missed a Tendrils kill instead of a Tinker kill, but I looked at it really quickly and I didn't see one, but I could be wrong. This is not my most practiced deck. I have definitely played it in the past, though. All right, so I think this is where you would bring in a 1 ring. I think for the most part, they want to like Karn for the 1 ring, but this feels like a matchup where I want to have 1 ring in my deck, along with Hull Breachers and Consigns and Fatal Pushes, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to... This feels like overboarding. This feels like overboarding. Ugh, what am I supposed to do with this? I mean, theoretically, I could board Force out. That might be better. That is something CRK always says, but I don't know if I believe him. Maybe put an island out here, but we're already pretty low on mana sources. Also depends on if my opponent breaks in stock Null Rod or not. I definitely want all of my abilities to tinker. I mean, I am faster. Like, I mean, maybe we don't want to play all this stuff. It's possible. It's possible this is just extreme overboarding. But we're also not slowing our deck down though, Elf. Right? Like, none of the cards that we're boarding out help our speed. So We're not actually slowing our deck down in any way. I mean, maybe Probe, you could say helps your speed a little bit, but like all of these are reactive cards. We're just boarding in like more important reactive cards. Against Mindbreak Trap, do we really feel like that's a problem? I'm not really sure I care, but maybe. I guess we boarded out the Thoughtseize, right? So maybe we need to have one thing for Mindbreak Trap. I guess we have no ways to beat Mindbreak Trap here. Yeah. I wouldn't say this is like the greatest hand of all time, but it seems totally fine. I might change my entire plan on the play for what it's worth. Like if they null rod me here, then my plan is kind of bad, right? Because for whatever reason, these consigns are not steel sabotages, and I just don't know why. Like this is a very simple, I think, heuristic for vintage. Like if you are the combo deck that cares about null rod, you should not be playing consign. You should be playing steel sabotage. Yeah, but like Doomsday is always gonna be a bad matchup. I don't feel like making your like the Raker deck is by far the most played deck in the format. Doomsday is like a 2% meta share, 4% meta share or something. If I Dark Ritual for Demonic Tutor and I get a Black Lotus, I then have 4 mana. And then I could Ancestral. I could Mystical Ancestral. I could Demonic, Dark Ritual, Black Lotus, blue mana, Mystical Tinker, Ancestral into Tinker +2. Giving me, I need to hit a mana source. I need to hit a Moxen for that to work. And my opponent, of course, has to not have Mindbreak Trap, which is, I think, the actually pretty reasonable concern from Elf. If I wait, I take, they draw an extra card, and I take like 10 damage. But I probably resolve an Ancestral, taking an extra 4. It's kind of scary. Demonic. I mean, I could just Demonic Lotus Ancestral and just play it out and see where I go. I don't like know what the requirements are to like have a deterministic Yogg-Will Tendrils line from here. I assume I don't currently have it, even if I like fetch and don't die and Ancestral. I have no cyber cards in my hand right now either, so these are all just cards that I would normally have. If I just Mystical for Tinker, I'm just gonna take so much damage. The Tinker line is probably just not very good. I guess I could theoretically Mystical for like a Dark Ritual, and then go double Dark Ritual, Demonic Yogg-Will. I could just go for an end of turn Ancestral. Beseech top. I mean, I need to have enough mana to make sure I do all of those things. And if I have 2 mana, and then I go up to 5 mana, and then I Demonic Tutor. It's totally possible you're right. I mean, this turn I could even play my top. I don't know. I think I'm supposed to wait, though. I do think I am supposed to wait and make a choice at the end of their turn. I could always like Mystical for Hurgle's Recall. That buys me like a lot of time as well. I could always respond to this draw in Mystical. That's a terrible draw. Maybe I should have Mysticaled in response. But that's true. They also have Ancient Tomb, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, so Tendrils might not have to be more than a couple spells. Yeah, that's totally fair point that I probably didn't consider very much. So if I mystical for, so I'll have 5 mana. Oh no, so I have 2 mana. I'll have 4 mana. Am I gonna have 5 mana to beseech for a thingy? I think they just have Mindbreak Trap, unfortunately. If I mystical for a beseech here, then on my turn I go to 2 mana and up to 4 mana, and I go from 2 mana up to 4. I'm gonna be short on mana, aren't I? What if I just go just Yogwill, 2 mana, Dark Ritual, 4 mana, Demonic Tutor, Lotus, or do I have Demonic Tutor? So if I mystical for Yogwill, Demonic Tutor for Lotus, that's probably good enough. I assume that's good enough. I think no matter what, I'm just losing to Mindbreak Trap because I have no way to stop it. I guess I could bait a Mindbreak Trap with an Ancestral right now. It didn't work. Was there any point where I could have found extra counterspell in this game? No. See? But I never drew any of the cards that were replacing the Force. I mean, I did try to bait the Mindbreak Trap with the Ancestral for what it's worth, but... Though they... Oh, but the problem is I mysticaled for Yogwill. I mysticaled for Yogwill. So they knew I had Yogwill no matter what. Okay. I think I had chances, though, if I had put the cards in my deck. I still don't think I'm supposed to... Maybe these Fatal Pushes are just bad. I'm just supposed to have, like, access to forces. And Hull Breachers on the play seem worse. Just try to kill them on turn 2 every game. I feel like that's probably better. Ugh. Isn't this hand, like... I mean, this hand's not bad, I guess, because I have Brainstorm. So I guess it's fine. I can just Brainstorm and then cycle it away with Mox Lorien. Get rid of these Beseeches. And I can Mystical for Tinker, theoretically. I guess we should just start by brainstorming and seeing what happens. I mean, this went perfectly, right? Now I can make sure I get rid of those. I guess we're not tinkering, though. Maybe I should have just gone Mystical for Dark Ritual and Beseeched. Would that have been better? I guess that could have been better. I didn't really even think of that as a possible line. I should probably have done that, but now I have Force back up. Can I still do that? I can draw my Dark Ritual. Or sorry, I can draw my Beseech. I can Demonic for Lotus. I can still do it. So this is fine. Oh, I can't because I need to cycle this land. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't really even think about just like playing the land and getting a Dark Ritual and just going for Beseech. If I had left a Beseech in my hand, this actually would have worked out totally fine, but I didn't. Interesting. Yeah, I played that poorly, it looks like. But I mean, this does give me a Force of Will to have Mindbreak Trap back up. And it's not like I'm dying. There's a stupid Scrawling Crawler in play. I mean, I think I'm supposed to still cycle this and then try to figure out a new way. So yes, let's see. Mystical. So what am I missing for Tinker? So I can Tinker with no land drop. I feel like that's so worse and so much worse. But I mean, it's probably correct, right? Yeah, I mean, it's probably still correct. I think I don't know, like brainstorming there felt like it was better than like getting a Dark Ritual, but maybe it's not. Trap. Force. They don't have second trap. Citadel. Key. Opal. Stock up is super good. Stock up. Dark Ritual Yogwill. I should do it. Because I have 3 artifacts. Oh, I mean, also Time Vault. Oof. I mean, it doesn't technically win on the spot because there's a Scrawling Crawler, but I have Dark Ritual Yogwill to win on the next turn. Like, this doesn't technically win because of Scrawling Crawler, but it's gonna win. Yeah, I do think there were lines there that I didn't fully consider, but I also think that we won the game because we took the line we took, right? If my opponent is sitting on Mindbreak Trap, and I think Elf correctly identified that during sideboarding, is a good reason to have these forces in my deck. Brainstorming just gave me the ability to play around stuff, right? Because if I had Mystical for Dark Ritual and I had gone Dark Ritual Beseech for Tinker, that would have lost a Mindbreak Trap. So I actually think maybe the play that I took, which is a little bit slower, had a lot more merit. Don't know. Lots of choices there. All right, here we go. We're 3-0 now. We're up against very powerful wizard Joan Anton. They're usually a Tinker gamer, but who knows what they're up to in recent times. This hand looks nice. No problems with this hand. No problems at all. I mean, I have problems. My Vampire Executor is not castable, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. So far, so good. Our deck has been running on all cylinders. I think the Beseech parts and the Dark Ritual parts have been good so far. But I'm not convinced that they've been like so good that they would have like won spots where just playing Tinkers and POs wouldn't. But it's possible. I do just feel that in general, Tinker Citadel decks right now are probably slightly underplayed. There's like legitimate reasons why you don't play Tinker Citadel decks instead of playing and instead play Lurrus decks. But like Tinker Citadel is quite strong as always, and stock up is very good in Tinker Citadel decks, right? And stock up is hell of a card. Opponent is debating their 6-card hand at the moment. Was stock up what was needed to reduce the Lurrus percentage? No, I don't think so. I don't see any reason you can't play stock up to very high proficiency inside of Lurrus decks. Like, you just need to make sure you're playing more Moxen. If you want to say, is stock up what you needed to reduce the Lurrus Control, like Psychic Frog percentage? And then even then, I'd say probably no, because that deck can be reformed to play stock ups as well. That being said, like you can play 3 stock ups in the Lurrus Deathrite Shaman deck that Yellow Hat played. I think it's rough. That is a fair point, though, Zajad, is that Tinker Citadel might be stronger for killing Raker Shops. That's a reasonable point. The thing is, I'm not super worried about the Raker Shops deck from the standpoint of either of the stock up combo decks. The thing I'm worried about is Lurrus Control. And Lurrus should give you a better chance of beating Lurrus Control than Tinker Citadel. But that being said, like if Raker Shops continues to be 40 plays a week, then you might be right. Yeah, I don't think that the bug stock up instant is good. I think it's just too much mana, too much stuff going on. But like, I don't know, if you're looking at this metagame, right, and you're looking at 3, 15, 25. This is last week. Oh, that's too early. Too late. 3, 13, 25. You have 5 events, and you have 20% Lurrus, or 20% Raker Shops, I should say. You're still looking at 35% Lurrus play percentage. Like, the most played deck is Raker Shops, but you're still facing Lurrus decks more likely than you're facing Raker decks. The difference is that the Lurrus decks are extremely varied between Deathrite Shaman, Esper, Blue-Black, Breach, PO, which I think is a good thing. I don't have like Lurrus here as like some kind of, you know, end all be all stat line. It's just there to be able to track what's going on. I don't think that people should be conflating like 35% Lurrus as a, you know, 35% the same deck, right? If Lurrus didn't exist, a Deathrite Shaman deck would still exist. If Lurrus didn't exist, a PO deck would still exist, a Breach deck would still exist, a Control deck would still exist, theoretically. Maybe not on the Control deck side, but so like it's not really a card that's defining a bunch of these decks. It's just a card that's additive to what those decks are already doing. I don't know. That's how I look at it anyways. Maybe that's not the right way to look at it, but hopefully that was an enjoyable side discussion as Joanne has mulled to 5 cards at the moment, still considering a 5-card hand, and has kept the 5-card hand, and we're off to the races. I mean, it might make them weaker without it. It might not, because the thing that you're gonna see happen is that every non like super controlling Lurrus deck, if Lurrus was to go away, just plays Tinker Citadel, and this isn't like a low probability thing. This is a very extremely high probability thing because it's the meta that we saw before Lurrus was unbanned, and I think I speak for the majority of players when I say that it's been very nice to not have a lot of Tinker Citadel, is how I would phrase it. I'm gonna play Saga, Soul Ring, Mox Opal, and we're gonna go a little bit on the slower side here. My opponent mulled a 5 and has a little bit of a weaker draw. This should be my Flesh Raker PO hybrid deck, so I think 1 force should be enough to sufficiently put them out of danger, put us out of danger, and we can look to do something on the next turn here. Whether that is like make a construct token, use our academy, cast stock up, you make a construct token, use our vampiric tutor, get a time vault. Yeah, I think it's a feeling that will fade very quickly, CRK, but I could be wrong. Like I have won more than most players with Tinker Citadel. I've won a lot of money with Tinker Citadel, and I don't think having a predominant meta percentage Tinker Citadel is very fun. But that's just my personal feelings on the matter. Definitely don't want to push that on everyone else. This is a Tinker. Hopefully they don't have forced backup. That'd be pretty bad for me. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the problem, right? Like, it's just who can tinker first, and all the games revolve around it. People wanted Citadel banned. I don't know, like, I felt pretty safe here. I had a Force of Will, but my opponent played turn 2 Tinker with Force backup, and now I'm going to lose this game 90 times out of 100. And, like, this is how basically all the matches go. You just fire Tinkers off at each other until somebody wins. It's very... Yeah, it's not great, is what I would say. This game is still winnable if they, like, run out of life here, and I can, like, go Academy, make constructs, but it's not looking good. They could find a needle off of this, and... Oh, I guess that does it, too. That's interesting, because it kills the Mox and makes it so my Academy can't make 2 mana. That's pretty cool. Draw Yogwell. Yeah, this looks lost. Our deck does not contain a Chain of Vapor for Karn, so the only way we can really win is a Dark Ritual combo, which we currently have no black mana, so it seems unlikely. The only upside here is my opponent used a top to draw this Tinker Force back up, and so they don't have a top right now with their Citadel. They do have the ability to play a Lattice with 1 more mana. Can't remember if I put a Lattice in the sideboard here. I think I did. But yeah, I mean... This like game is a pretty prime example. My opponent just like mold, found Tinker with Force backup and won. Which is basically just all Tinker mirrors till the end of time. So that is part of the reason why I am very happy in the current Lurrus metagame. I think the cool part about the Lurrus metagame is it doesn't mean Tinker is gone. You can still play Tinker Citadel. It just means it's not 20% of the metagame, which is probably for the best. Also, with Stock Up being printed, Stock Up is very good in these Tinker Citadel decks. I'm not sure that's another whole rabbit hole. All right, I've been bested. My opponent played to turn 2 Tinker with Force backup, and I did not. Going into this next game, Hull Breacher looks pretty good, and Flusterstorm looks good. I think that's about all I would want. We don't have any negations in our deck. I feel like we could take out an island here and be pretty happy. A probe doesn't seem particularly necessary. I don't actually like boarding out slow tutors in the Tinker Mirror because, well, they find Tinker, which is really like counterintuitive. A lot of times you want to board out these mysticals and vamps in the side of the matchup where opponent can, you know, have counter magic, but is Hercules all right? I don't think Hercules is particularly good against the blue Raker PO deck. It's not bad by any means. It's a blue card that pitches to forge. You can sometimes counter a PO with it, but like, I don't think that's where I'd like to go with my cards. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment, is that Lurrus is going to, like Saga did, encourage more games that are longer and based around the board. But people didn't like Saga, so maybe, who knows? I think I'm going to take out a Dark Ritual. I don't know what else to take out. I don't really want to take out any more lands than the island. Yeah, but like Magic encourages you to play as little mana cost as possible. That Lurrus is just like helping you build a better deck. Like, you were always supposed to play the least amount of mana cost as possible in your deck. What is this, Frosty? April 5th. Okay, sure. Slides. I mean, I do think Lurrus is... I think Lurrus, like, not having one of its many pieces would be a lot better. Like, Lifelink. Lifelink is a little silly. 3 power. 3 power is a little silly. There's a lot of things about Lurrus that we can change, but I think overall I like what it does. I wanted to change banner slides, and I wanted to remove this and add this, add directory slides. There we go. Oh no, oh no, what did I do? Go back. Oh no, I broke it, chat. Why did it all of a sudden become very large? Huh? How did that happen? I think it's because that one of the slides I put in here is like super huge. I was trying to be helpful. Classic Four Seasons advertisement being the largest. What do I got here? Oh, I hate this so much. I mean, I do have Saga Time Walk DT stuff, but like, is that gonna win? Like, this is very scary, isn't it? No, I actually think it's not yours. I think there's another one that's like too long, but I wanted to put it in anyways. We'll see. It's just a slow hand, right? I mean, we have Saga, Key, Opal, Time Walk. I mean, it's turn 2. I'm probably just supposed to keep it. Yours looks fine. I'm worried more about the, I put in one for somebody and it was very large. The royal one was a bit too large, so we'll have to see. Anyways, let's go Saga, Key, Opal. Let's play around Bobble. I mean, we could just die because our hand is no protection, but that's part of the world we're living in here. I don't think I'm supposed to mulligan this hand. This is a turn 2, right? Because my Saga goes off, I can get like a Black Lotus, and it's a turn 2 kill. I mean, I don't even need a Black Lotus, really. I just need to have like 1 more mana. Maybe we can even like find Force or something. I don't know. Underground River Go. Ancestral on my upkeep. This deck doesn't have Vexing Bobble, which is kind of annoying. I'd love to search a Vexing Bobble out with my Saga and then like DT for Key or for Time Vault. That it looks fine. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. So let's see what happens this game. I assume this is Ancestral on my upkeep. It's not easy to try to figure out like what is the line of an acceptable keep in terms of power, speed, and interaction for a Tinker Mirror. The coolest, like, it's one of the cooler parts about playing Tinker is that you actually mulligan super well. Like, you watch our opponent mulligan to 5 and easily kill us with Tinker Force backup. That's the power of the London mulligan and the power of Tinker in general. Opponent goes up to 9 cards here. Citadel. Well, jamming involves understanding mulligan heuristics, does it not? To mulligan, or to jam more effectively than your opponent, you need to mulligan more effectively than your opponent. Well, you came in not at the best time, because we're already 3 rounds in, but you came at a good time. Oof, yeah, Force on my Time Walk, pitching Steel Sabotage, sure. I do draw a lot of Citadels. That is a factually accurate statement. True and true. I mean, so like the key here is like, can my opponent kill me on the follow back here? Or do they have like more interaction? They have Steel Sabotage, which actually would have been really good against my current line. Oh, they have no more mana. That is wild. So that means they have all interaction, or they have all POs, or they have all stock ups, or they have all Flesh Rakers. What does that mean? Ancestral just did not find them any mana. And they have to pitch a card to hand size. I wish I could get a Vexing Bobble here, chat. I just want a Vexing Bobble so bad right now. Thoughtseize is pretty damn good, though. That's like a Vexing Bobble. Probably gets Flusterstormed, though. So let's see. If I currently have a 3 mana and plus whatever I get off of this Saga, then I can Thoughtseize and Demonic and Time Vault with like a Soul Ring, maybe. If I get a Black Lotus, do I want a Black Lotus instead? I can then Beseech easier on the next turn if like my Thoughtseize gets flustered and my Force doesn't work out. But then I wouldn't have enough mana, right? I'd have to use the Black Lotus. Whereas if I get a Soul Ring, I have Soul Ring is 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Thoughtseize is 4 mana. Oh, wait, 4 mana, 2 mana. That's actually not good enough, right? It has to be Black Lotus to have enough mana to go for the win right here. Black Lotus, 3 mana, 4 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana, 5 mana, 3 mana, 2 mana, 1 mana activate. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for Black Lotus. Obviously, we can change if this Thoughtseize resolves and there's like more things that we have to worry about, but I guess we could also technically just cast our Citadel. That is something we can technically do. I should probably go look at my Raker list, right? Where is it? How do I find it? Moxfield.com? I was just going to the Goldfish page. I have I have Negation. I have no Flusterstorms, huh? I guess we could use Mana Vault. Yeah, you're right. We could use Mana Vault. It makes our Beseech worse, right? But if we're using our Lotus, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe we'll try Mana Vault. I don't mind that. All right, Thoughtseize. Show me what you got. Hopefully we can see. My opponent has Steel Sabotage. Wow. Who made that deck? Looks very clunky. Who made that deck? looks real rough there. Whoever made that deck. They drew so badly on Ancestral. It's actually wild. That is crazy. They drew so badly. Grim Monolith, Sensei's Top, Flesh Raker, Time Walk. All they had to do was hit like 1 mana here. Double Steel Sabotage came in, interestingly. People have been boarding in a lot of Steel Sabotages against me recently. We only have Force of Will, huh? That's our only interaction. Oh, no, we have 3 Flusterstorms. Well, we have no negation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right. Game 3. Consign? I don't know. It doesn't feel like that's playing Consign is like attacking from the angle that I'd want to attack from. Like, it's not bad, right? Playing Consign is like definitely a good card against my opponent's deck. They have Vault Key, they have Flesh Raker, they have Tops. But it doesn't feel like what I'm trying to do, you know? Like, I am trying to get through my cards. Like, just like, I don't feel like Steel Sabotage is like their best approach to the matchup either. It's just like keeping your deck cohesive in terms of its game plan for the matchup. Is that probably the way I would try to explain it? I'm not sure the best way to explain it. I would like to think on the best way to explain that. I do that a lot, though. People will very often suggest cards that have good applications in a matchup, but don't fit what I'm trying to do with my boarding and game plan. It's a frequent thing that comes up on chat a lot. Uh-oh. Black Lotus. Well, I think Fluster is better, is what I'm trying to say. Fluster does the same thing, a similar thing, and it's disrupting my opponent's game plan, but it also is very proactive in helping make my plan work. Whereas Consign is never helping make my plan work, only giving me time. My opponent did just lead with a 6-card Black Lotus Ancestral hand, so we might not ever get a turn here. Mox Tinker win the game, you know? Mox PO win the game. Stock Up is probably winning the game from here. Yo, what up? So, like, the thing is, it's, like, not bad, right? I don't really fault people for doing it, but I always get surprised when people do it. Because it doesn't make sense in my head. But I understand why. PO for 2, hopefully, and not Tinker. I guess Lorien revealed for 3. Stock Up for 3. Flesh Raker is not bad unless they have 2 tops. It can work, but it also might not. Time Walk. All right, well, they get 4 looks here for a second top. See what happens. I have no idea about Bizarre Shops. I would just check out Zeus's channel and see what he's up to. I know that I don't make those decks well or play them well, so I kind of let people who are better at it do it. Interesting. I keep losing. This is also part of the Tinker Mirror that is infuriating, is if you just play Karn on the play, you just win. And I don't really know, like, there's not really much to do. You just, like, have to have Force, which is why it's kind of surprising that this deck has no negations in it. I would feel like 2 negations in the board for when you're on the draw in this Tinker Mirror is what you would want, but maybe the Tinker Mirror is not worth it. I don't know. I did what? I swapped games with Musasabi in our Thursday or our Friday challenge, I think. Which sounds about right. This deck is highly volatile. I mean they did have Black Lotus, Ancestral Time Walk, Mox, Mana Crypt, Karn. What did he search for? Or just plus? There's a top on top, 1 card in hand. I mean, it must be like a trap or something, right? And then on next turn they can play Lattice. And I have really no recourse here at all, I assume. Oh no, they haven't searched yet. Soul Guide Lantern to stop the Tendrils kill. Nice play. It's a good play. Juan is very good at this Tinker Mirror. We've been playing... Juan and I have been playing Tinker Mirrors together for like 7 years now. It's too funny. I drew the Beseech. But a Tinker's in my hand. I'm a really low life total. I'm just going to get I mean, I'm just going to die is what I'm going to do. I just can't win. I was on the draw. My hand didn't have a force, and I lost. If my hand had a force, then maybe I hold it out until the Karn happens. And maybe... I don't know if I do. Or maybe I just force the Ancestral right away. Who knows? But yeah. I don't think my hand's a mulligan. I don't think you're supposed to mulligan 2 force. I would feel better about mulliganing non-force hands if I had more negations as well, but... I don't know. Maybe I am just always supposed to mulligan these non-force hands. That's possible. Might be a bad heuristic. Don't know. It's been a while since I did some Tinker Mirrors. But, yeah. I mean, the first person to resolve a spell wins. I got killed. All right, here we go. Our 5th and final round of this Vintage League. No Lurrus reveal from our opponent, but I think this hand is just a little too bad. We're going to mulligan it. Yeah, it's been a pretty good league. I might keep this Citadel in my hand. Am I stupid? Yeah, I'm stupid. I can just go Vault Key. All right, this hand is not very good, but let's do it. Hype. opponent says they are new to Vintage. Let's see what they got for us. They got Bug for us? Please do not collect your Roof Me on turn 1 with your Mox Emerald. For fuck's sake. Why am I getting new players into Vintage? Why? Shrink the game. Does my deck even have a single fucking answer to this? It's just Storm Kill them. Shrink the game is necessary here. I do wish I had kept my Citadel instead of my Time Vault, huh? Classic Bug. They got me. It's okay. It's okay. We can win the game still. It's doable. I should have kept my Forcible hand, huh? Oh, no. It's becoming less doable. Things are becoming very scary. I have Vault Key. So I just need to DT for sync and have it resolve. That seems doable. So if I use my Dark Ritual... No, I want to use my Dark Ritual next turn, right? So let's think about this. If I DT here, and I draw a mana source... I DT for sync, I draw a mana source, and then I Dark Ritual, and I'll be one short. So if I Dark Ritual now... I will have an extra mana to use for a Lorien Revealed. It's not really good either. I just Demonic for sync and we'll play it a little bit slower. The problem is if I don't... I guess I can use the Dark Ritual to play the sync, theoretically. Sync is my only answer, right? I don't have a removal spell in my deck. I mean, I could Tinker for a Citadel. Is that better? That might be better. I could go Dark Ritual, Mox, Tinker it away, Citadel. I guess I get Wastelanded, though. That might still work out. Is that better? I feel like it's not better. But I have Beseech. Maybe it's better. I did get 4. Maybe 4. I'm gonna try Tinker over Snuff Out. I think it might be slightly better. Sorry, Tinker over Sink into Stupor. Someone said Snuff Out in chat, and I read that. All right. All right, so I kind of want to avoid a Wasteland here. I kind of want my opponent to play more creatures if I can help it. Leovold might be annoying. Oko is fine. Holding up counter magic would be bad for me, though. Please don't do that. Black? Deathrite. 2 cards in my opponent's hand. What's the chance this works? I drew a Fluster. Does that help? So if I use my land drop, it helps, right? I can Dark Ritual and then use one of my Dark Rituals used to Lorien Revealed for a blue source, so I have Fluster up. I feel like I'm supposed to do that, right? I feel like I'm supposed to do that. If we win this game, it's pretty impressive with just having very little interaction. Obviously, if they don't have anything in their hand, it's worse to use my land drop for this. But I think the chance they have no interaction feels low. Yeah, Force. All right. Ooh, okay. I mean, I still have to get lucky. But it's possible. Kind of feel pretty good about that line. See what happens. Fuck. My bad, chat. I shouldn't have seen what happened. I guess it's better than having it be forced. All right. Sinking a stupor on the top. From the top rope. Boom. Now I have to dodge force of will, I guess. I also have to make sure I don't die to the Death Ray Shaman. I also need one more mana, don't I? My opponent had a pretty good hand. Turn one, oof, force backup, Psychic Frog follow up. They did draw more Moxen than they would want, but this puts me to 7. Karn. Ugh, that's kind of bad, isn't it? This puts me to 3, so I can't fetch. Wow. Uh-oh. I could fetch away this Karn. Probably supposed to. I'm trying to find a way to like not lose the force of will here. Vamp. Vamp puts me to 3 as well. Do I have another Fluster in the main? I do. So if I Vamp, I lose 1, and then I have a Fluster on top. I go to my next turn, and then I go Vault Key. Guess I still lose to like an Abrupt Decay or something. I can't Thought Seize. I think I'm supposed to Vamp. I guess what I can do is like set up a Beseech kill to go with my Time Vault kill. Is that actually a possibility though? I guess I could just lead with Yogwill. And if Yogwill gets countered, then we're fine. We know they have an oof and one other card. So if I lead with Yogwill, I still need to hit a mana though, right? If I like get my Yogwill countered. Is Yogwill better than Flusterstorm? Because I could lose to Abrupt Decay, right? Abrupt Decay. So I'm trying to find a way to play around everything. Yogwill first, if I get countered, is not deterministic, but it feels pretty good. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try Yogwill, go to my Time Walk turn. And then see what they do if I Lotus Time Walk. What is this? Oh. Okay, that's fine. I think I played that in a correct way, but maybe there's like a more concise way of doing that. But the cards I was worried about there were like Force and Abrupt Decay. And that's why I was thinking, at first I was thinking like Flusterstorm, but then I was thinking maybe if I just have 2 avenues of winning, that would make more sense. Yeah, not bad. I mean, our life total was a little precarious there after missing, but we got there. We beat the bug. I mean, that was pretty impressive for a deck that really doesn't have very many ways to remove an oof. We just decided to tinker through it. Killed me with a more aggressive frog play? It's possible. They did play out a Mox they didn't have to play out in that game. But like we could have gone for other lines, Dash. Like we took the line based on the information we had in front of us, right? So anyways, this is a Fatal Push matchup for sure. This is a Flusterstorm matchup. Again, I really don't like bringing in Needle here, but I do think the One Ring is probably not what you want to bring in either. I think just Phyto Pushes and Flusterstorms. This is a matchup where you want to take out things like the extra Opal. I don't really like playing Vamp here. I don't mind Mystical as much, but Vamp I don't like a lot. I think this top, if I had a second top, I would trim a top. This Karn looks awful. Maybe I'll still trim the top though. You're just like less likely to go for top stuff. Let's try this. I'm not sure. I could be reasoned for a couple other choices. Sad hand. Sad hand. Happy hand. Happy hand. Okay. Any hand that has a stock up is a good enough hand for me. Not actually true, but any hand that casts a stock up is a good hand for me. How about that? I wonder if there's any reason to like bottom the Pearl here. What do you got? Sapphire? That's not oof mana. Okay, that's oof mana. What do you got for me? Classic Oko. I think Oko resolves. I don't think I care about Oko. Oh, I guess this can runs me into days. I should have probably played around that. My bad, chat. Stock up. Time Walk. Beseech. Opal. Sink. Ugh. Where's my Dark Ritual go? Give me back my Dark Ritual. So I can Time Walk and then stock up again, right? So we'll just take Time Walk and we'll take... Should we take Opal? Opal kind of garbage here. Maybe just take Sink. I just like don't have any... Just feel like there's no chance of casting Beseech. I guess if we hit a Dark Ritual... And I already have Force Blue card. All right, maybe I'll take this Beseech. All right, to our next turn. Mental Misstep. Wait, oh, I needed the land. I needed the Sink for the land. That's really bad. I thought I had the land for some reason. No, I was supposed to take Sink for the land. I just thought I had 3 mana for some reason. Now they can kill my Pearl and I'm in trouble, actually. It's my bad, chat. I just thought I had 3 mana in my hand, but I did not have 3 mana in my hand. Oh, they turn. Yeah, my opponent should 100% every time here turn this elk Pearl into an elk. Just attack my mana. You don't need to kill me fast. Oh, well, maybe if they have a wasteland, it doesn't matter. I'm dead. I threw this game. Sorry, chat. Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, I'm so dead. I needed to keep the Sink, and I think we would probably be in a winning spot, but I fucked up. Shit. Yeah, I mean, they're still probably supposed to turn off the Emerald, but... Or the Pearl. Agreed. God, I feel bad. I feel like turning off the Pearl is like a non-intuitive line for a new Vintage player, which they said they are. So it makes sense. God, this stock up would have gotten rid of all these garbage cards too. I feel like, I don't know. I want to see all the cards that I would have hit, but I feel like I would have been in a good spot to win this game. Another Wasteland? That is really bad for me. I actually don't know if I can win the game anymore. Maybe if I draw Jet and push. Ugh. Okay. It's a start, but I'm kind of dead. I actually am just dead. Turn off this emerald. Get in there, butter. They did take the fastest clock. Oh, we're not doing that. Okay. Then I'm not dead. Hey, they got, there we go. Interesting. All right, well. It's still bad for me. Dark Ritual? No, I would have had Beseech. I might have won the game there if they hadn't done that. Dark Ritual, Beseech, Yogwill, Lotus, Ritual, Beseech. It's a little short, I think, but it was close. All right, so I would have hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards off of my stock up. I mean, it wouldn't have been that good, but I definitely would have given myself a chance. I played that game very badly, though. I just thought I had 3 mana, and I did not have 3 mana. All right, game 3 on the play. Beseech, Sink, Saga, Pearl, Lorien. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a keep. Do I not play this Pearl in case I get Vigored? Is that a thing that I have to do here? I agree. I think I would have Emerald. I would have Oko'd the Pearl on the first turn with Oko. I agree with that statement. The Oko can never really die to the Pearl Elk, so you're just always supposed to try to eliminate that kind of resource. Am I getting Ancestral? Don't Ancestral me. Not right now. Next turn though. I'm gonna get this Underground. See. It is Ancestral. I definitely don't want you resolving Ancestral. Got a negation. Force backup. Sure. Mana Crypt. I wish I could buy a Lurrus. Where my Lurrus at? I think it's worth it to play this Mana Crypt out. Lets me hold up Fatal Push. I mean, I have a Beseech kill on the next turn. I just like don't have any trust that it will work. Float my mana in response to Oof. See what they do with their floating mana. I don't have to Fatal Push right away. I can wait till end step if I want to. I have the ability to make this construct as well. See what they do. Obviously, if you make green off your Lotus, you can't play a Frog here. Which is kind of one of the rougher parts of the bug mana with Lotus. Always one of the worst Lotus decks. They want to go to the next phase. I'm going to make a construct. And then am I going to let them go to the next phase? Oh, there's a wasteland. Where the hell did that come from? I see. Beseech you, my underground seat? All right. Fatal Push your Oof. That was a little aggressive. But, I mean, I don't have any... I mean, I need to draw Dark Ritual now. Tinker, Demonic Tutor, Dark Ritual. Tendrils of Agony! Everybody's favorite and most powerful do-nothing card. Ah, double Wasteland! Like a beast! I mean, can my construct get there? It's not a great spot. It is not a great spot. No, you don't have Vigor green card, do you? Surely. Surely you don't have Vigor green card. There's no way. Now, why are we stopping? Oh, Vigor green card. Things are so bad. This is why you don't play against Bug with your Storm deck. Oh, no. Attack for 1. It's okay, I draw Black Lotus. Demonic Tutor. Uh-oh. That can't be good for me. What do you Demonic Tutor for here, chat? Frog? No Ancestral. I'm getting my butt whooped. I am getting my butt whooped. Oof. Frog. Force. DT. Force. Strip Mine. I don't know about that one. I feel like an oof's better than that. Oof blocks. For a turn, at least. Maybe not, if I draw box. Frog for sure? I don't think anything's for sure. There's some choices. It kind of depends on the card in their hand. Let's take a look. Survey says they got Assassin. Oh, they got Cruise. They most certainly got Cruise. Yeah, Cruise is pretty good here. It's like an Ancestral Recall. We're dead. We're so dead. We are very dead. Super dead. Yeah, I like Cruise here. I forgot that Cruise exists. It's pretty good. Probe. Yeah, I got Tendrils of Agony in my hand. That's how you know I have good deck building. I hate Tendrils so much. Not Musasabi's fault. It's correct to have Tendrils in this deck. I just don't want to play with it. Black. Deathrite Shaman. They have Trophy and an Unknown. They don't want Trophy because I mana. Can't even attack. My guy's so small. He's so small. He's just a cute little construct. I think I'm dead, by the way. I think it's gonna take another 17 turns, but or I guess 7 turns, but then I'm gonna die. Talarian Academy. Maybe I can get them to use a thing on it. Not a Wasteland, please, for the love of God, not a Wasteland. I need to play this out, though, so that I can draw another land next turn and cast my Demonic Tutor. Am I getting ass trophied? I am getting ass trophied. On the Talarian Academy. Acceptable. Ass trophied. Alright. You gotta crack this and eat something. Probe, probably. I'm still in this game. I can still win this game. It's still winnable, chat. It is still winnable. They eat the Lorien Revealed. I think I want to eat the Probe because it's a better card off of Yagwell. But as long as you're eating a spell here from my graveyard, I think you're close enough. All right, can someone say Mox Jet? We're so close. We are so close. Eat the Talarian. I like that. That's a nice little play. What else you got? Blue, blue, black, green. Lorien? I gotta let that one go. I gotta try to draw a spell this turn and then force it. Oh, fuck off! Opponent! Okay, it's still winnable. 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 That's not it. I mean, if I just go like land, like Jet, Dark Ritual, Demonic, Lotus, Beseech, Yagwell, win the game. True? False? Still winnable. This is a dig through time. It's looking not winnable. Oh, it's an Oko. That's fine. Can you turn my guy into an elk? Wait, no, don't turn my guy into an elk. I need to bargain him. Just make a food. Tendrils for 5. Yeah, I guess that's also true. I think it needs to be for 6, though. Can they not eat a creature? Oh, they can't eat a creature. Never mind. Come on. Come on, game. Black sources. Oh my god, game, please. You're killing me. You're killing me, game. Everything is going wrong. I don't think saving life here matters. Beseech, you get rid of my underground sea, wasteland it? Yeah, true. Very true. Green. Deathrite. Sure. It's my last turn, chat. I need one of them. I need one of them thingies. Thingies? Bro. Be serious. GG's, opponent. I've been bugged. Oh, GG's. Sorry. Big fan. Sorry for playing bug. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Some self-reflection. All right, so 3-2. We lost a Tinker Mirror and we lost a Bug, which is pretty reasonable. This deck is not, I mean, it's playing no main deck removal. Like zero main deck removal. So, I don't know. I don't really like this deck. I do like Tinker Citadel and I do like Stock Up, but I don't really like Dark Ritual Beseech. We had some really nice Dark Ritual Beseech, Yogg-Will, Tendril stuff in the first couple of matches. But then every time after that, it just felt so clunky and awkward. And I don't know. It's not for me. It's not how I want to game. If I'm casting Dark Ritual, I want it to be casting Doomsday, you know? That's how I feel. So... that being said, if you take these 9 cards here and you put in blue cards, I'm all about it. Maybe an extra land, maybe you play some Merchant Scroll, PO stuff, Mentor maybe, who knows? But thank you to Musasabi, who put this deck back on the map with recent back-to-back top 4 performances, including a challenge win with this very cool, very fun Beseech the Mirror Stock Up Storm deck. That is the one way you can really push me to play your deck on this channel right now, is to win a tournament with it. That will definitely push me in the direction of playing your deck, as the deck donations are not currently online. So, but it was fun. I hope we had fun tonight. We played a lot of Tinkers, we played a lot of Tendrils, and it ended pretty well. If you want to see more vintage content, make sure to check out the YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.